Hi. Hey. Hi, it's Bridgette. Welcome to Above Life Channel. The purpose here is to inspire your spirit and to fill you with hope. Today we're going to do a live stream again just because it's easy. Because the weekend got away from me and I did not record anything yet. So we get to do a live stream for the first channeling in 2023. I think that's great. I'm going to do a check quick here of just to make sure let's see. Let's see that I have decent audio. Sometimes it takes a bit here. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm on. I can see. Oh, don't you hate the commercials? It'll get better, I think, after the holidays. Usually they cram tons of commercials in. Oh, yay. Okay, good. It works. All right. Just gotta check. So today I will be clearing my throat. It is post holiday and I'm dealing with some of the after effects. Have a little bit of a dry throat, like dry lips, dry skin a little bit. I hope you had a decent transition into the new year. I went roller skating. Went to a bookstore, had dinner, did some really fun things on Saturday, and it was really awesome, super awesome. And in my head now, I have random like 80s and 90s music that kind of sneaks in and kind of plays in my head, and I can't quite get it out. So if I just bust out into a rendition of Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby or something, you'll understand. And to answer your next logical question, yes, I could still skate. Yes, I could. And at one point, I even skated backwards and quads, not rollerblades. So, and I don't have my own skates yet. This year, the one big thing I want to do is I want to get a bike, like a bicycle. So I want to do that. And I'm like, well, maybe my theme will be like things with wheels, maybe, who knows? I am doing in my personal spiritual work to support me. I'm doing the Celtic Wheel of the Year with Mary Kennedy. I'm following the rhythm of the 8 High Holy Days according to Celtic lineage and culture and such, and it's amazing. I love it. I will be doing some other work this year, starting here next week, entering into a priestessing temple online, connected to Ariel Spilsbury's work. That's the foundation of it anyway. And it's from the 13 Moon Oracle deck. That's actually the card that you see behind me. This is the card I pulled today. I'll share it with you. Cards are just tools, you guys. They're like flashcards. It's a great way for the brain to get on board with spiritual energy and information. It's a great way to translate using words, imagery, color, picture. It's perfect. That's why people use cards. And I think they're getting really lots more popularity. Now, I don't typically use like a tarot deck, which is more aligned with like an ancestral or lineage or storyline, that kind of a thing, or a really kind of specific structure. I don't usually do that. With the 13 Moon Oracle, this is something that's really connected to my divine feminine work that I've been doing for years now, since like 2013 or 14. And this is based on archetypes. So the 13 moons are actually 13 archetypal energies. So it's a collection in each of those turns of the wheel, or in each of those moon cycles, basically. There is a collection of an archetypal overarching energy that kind of holds the space for that. So I'm entering into that next week. So here's the card I got today is fulfillment. This is very sacred, very divine feminine. Oh, yes, it is. And this is the goddess of love. Is this a goddess of love? Yes, it is, isn't it? For some reason, I was thinking it was the goddess of compassion. It's the archetype of the goddess of love, which, I didn't bring it in. At the bookstore, I got a book of poems, and it's, if you watched Sunday Morning Coffee yesterday, you'll see it, because I read from it, and then I encouraged you to use that reading from that poem to use that to jump off into a little bit of a journaling prompt is really good. Sunday morning coffee yesterday. What's next is what it's called. Okay. Yeah, so fulfillment. Look at that. Don't we all need some energy of fulfillment on a Monday? Yes, yes, we do. And I know for those of you who are just maybe passersby or window shoppers here, you might not know how this works for me as an intuitive, a psychic, as a channel. I talk. I'm chatty. I like to have conversation with you. I literally feel like I'm talking with you, like we're hanging out, having coffee. And of course, I have coffee. I love coffee. And like we're just sitting in my living room having coffee. Like that's how I feel. That's how I work and operate. So this isn't like a journalistic approach to psychic readings. If you want that, you might as well keep on walking by because mine is more conversation style, right? Okay, so if you're interested in more channeling sessions, there are lots of playlists here at Bug Life Channel. And with David Bowie, yes, Mr. Bowie does have a playlist. So David Bowie's energy is a perfect energy to step into the new year with because of his ascended nature. Definitely an astral star energy. Friends who are star seeds, people who are really into the astrology, and people who love to manifest at a higher degree, higher rate of warp speed, or people who really love sacred geometry. What is sacred geometry, Bridgette? Well, like this is a Vesica Pisces. If you look at it, do you see that in the corner? The two overlapping circles. It looks like a Venn diagram for those of you back in the literature days in school. It looks like a Venn diagram, but it's overlapping circles, which is Vesica Pisces, which actually is part of the logo for one of my new projects I'm doing this year. But like this is a sacred geometry, which has like the flower of life, the seed of life. This one's got a compilation. This has a lot of sacred geometries in it, Metatron's cube, like so much. So this might be a little overwhelming to you. But yeah, so there you go. So David Bowie is very connected to all of these astral, cosmic, star-like tools, which I think is so poignant when we step into a new year because we need our minds to go, we need a broader perspective. Don't you? Don't you now? Yes. Yes, I would like something different than all of the old school composted crap that is floating through my brain right now. So let's supercharge that with a higher vibrational frequency. Higher doesn't mean better. Higher just means degree at which the energetics are moving. More closer to, I would say, light than something tangible you could touch. You can see light, but you can't touch it, right? Like that. Are you with me? Are you with me now? Because with Above Life channel work, with what I share with you, whether it be here in a channeling session or in Sunday morning coffee, you learn. That's the point, to translate psychic and spiritual information into a place to allow your brain to not reject it or resist it, to just really be open to all of these incredible resources that are available to you. And you don't have to have some title of psychic in order to access it. And yes, I'm dramatic because hello, we're going to talk to David Bowie, and he was very theatrical and expressive. And of course, I'm like that too. Plus, when the camera turns on, something happens to me. I wake up, I turn on. I'm going to say hello in the chat here, and I'm going to turn off my heater in the background here. Okay. Hey, I'm getting acupuncture today. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, I intended it. It's like a 90-minute session too to start the new year. Happy New Year to you too in the chat. I see you. Good morning, my friends. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. We're going to talk to David Bowie starting the new year in a higher consciousness, right? Lots of grid stuff. I usually don't say them very often, and I'm feeling like I've said it a few times. That's weird. Hello, awareness is being peaked right now. Huh, interesting. Okay, grids. I'm thinking about the sacred geometries and the grids, and David Bowie is really good with, so too is Prince, by the way. Those two, for me, are super good with grids, and grids are the way the energies overlap and connect, which how I would describe that to you is like a super highway of energy movement and flow where you have access to energy, which isn't good or bad. It's just energy flow. So for example, the energy of passion For some, may be anger. Does that make sense to you? It's like how a musician playing one instrument can use those same like 5 chords of whatever they're, I'm thinking of a guitar. I don't know how many chords, how many strings are on a guitar, but can use the same things to create very different experiences, energy, sound with the combinations, right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing with our emotions. It's the same thing with energetics. So the grids are just, for me, like a map. And the easiest way to visualize that or think about that is like a wheel with spokes, or like sacred geometry shapes. It might be a Metatron's cube, might be a multi-level diamond, or like a really cool, like a dodecahedron, or a sacred soccer ball. That's what I call it. Like a Merkaba, like that. You know what I mean? It's so cool. So those of you who are geeking out over the sacred geometry shapes, you're welcome. Okay. Good morning to you. Hello. Let's start this year, ladies and gentlemen and others. My gentle people. Nice to see you. All right, let's get some inspiration, Mr. Bowie. I would love you to talk about. So I've been working with the word of the year also, and I have some stuff in my brains that I'm thinking. And sometimes what happens, you guys, I'm just going to move this cord here. Sometimes what happens, like a long cord, is that my spiritual friends, like David Bowie is one of my crew, I would say. I haven't talked to him for a while though. One of my spiritual friends. It's like the kind that, you hang out with, you don't talk to for a while, but you hang out with, and it's like, oh, like you never, like no time has passed, like that. But a lot of times when I'm talking to my spiritual guests, they will start talking about something in my life or a theme in my life. And so I try to make sure that here I am, like, I'm tightening up here, tightening up the hoodie here. Hello, throat chakra. Ooh. Well, they will talk about some things like that, which I really appreciate, but also I'm trying to share with you. So it's kind of hard to switch back and forth and disseminate the information or filter it so I don't share something with you that really is a direct thing for me. So what I'm going to do in this year, I've decided for myself, is during those conversations, and some of you who are psychic, who do this kind of work anyway, who channel or who are mediums or energy workers, you guys will know when that's happening. Just pay attention. It gives you an opportunity to learn, right? Just observe. But I'm going to try to just say whatever and say, okay, well, this is messages for me, and here's what it is, because otherwise I listen to it and then I wait, and then I try to move it into a way that I can share it with you. I'm just going to say it if it comes out directly. Okay. I'm going to be like respectful, obviously, but I'm just going to say it. Yeah. Okay. What is up with this hair? I know, you guys, I have a thing about my hair, and it's really long right now. Like, it's not long on the sides. It's really shaved on the sides. I know, I love it, but it's long right now. It's very long. I should have probably done something with it, but I literally didn't even take a shower this morning. Okay, all right. I just left it. All right. Not yet anyway. I'll do that after. I had to get to you guys. So David, can you come on in here? He's like, well, I don't know if you stink. I don't know that I want to be in here. I'm like, you don't have sensory things. You don't have, you can't smell. He says, let's talk to the people. Tell the people about their sensory energetics and how you can process information energetically using your senses. He says, that's one of the best things about being in a body. He says, the body comes with all these bells and whistles. This is David Bowie talking. He's starting more human in context, which makes him applicable to us, which makes him relatable to us. And then he will very quickly shift into more of a philosophical vibe. He always does that. So you'll feel the different levels. That's just the different vibrations of energy he can speak to us from. This is why people, channelers like me, or people like you, when you're connecting or channeling celebrities or famous people or what have you, you get different degrees or gradations of that energy. It's nothing wrong with you, or it's maybe a style, or maybe it's just where you're at. So anyway, I'm going to use more hand cream. This wasn't enough. Yeah, my skin is so dry. My lips are so dry. It's so dry. He says, he says, that earth, it just, the energy of he says that air element. There we go. Oh, yes, you like the air. Yeah, he says, I like the air in the Vesica Pisces. I like that one too. I'm like, I bet you do. It's a sacred symbol, people. Just look at the symbol and kind of feel what that might potentially feel like for you. David's like, I like that. I'm like, I bet you do. The air element, he just made a nod to the air element, which is elements are tools just like cards. Okay. It's an energy. You guys are going to learn when you're here. That's what happens on Above Life channel. All right. So you are talking about senses and sensory stuff and how our bodies are very interesting. I love that. I was just having a conversation this weekend about somatics feeling in your body, feeling energy and information, and that there's a lot around like trauma informed care and techniques for people to manage anxiety or just like general stress. And by becoming really aware of what's happening in the body, how the body is tensing up or where the shoulders are tense, or a lot of times breath or breathing just changes and moves the posture, which shifts the energy and how you're holding the stressors in your body. See, this is how energy and therapies come together. This is where we can talk intellectually about things like with somatics, rhythmic repetitive movement, trauma-informed care, and how to calm the nervous system. Tools like tapping or EFT. I just thought about that this morning, and it's interesting. I haven't done it today. Tapping, EFT, resource for you guys. Brad Yates, tapping with Brad Yates, Yates. I love him. I think he's just straightforward, straight to the point. He's great. Or the tappingsolution.com with the Ortners, Nick, Jessica Ortner, and I think it's Andrew is the brother also. Good resources. So somatically, we feel in our body, our bodies give us information, like the book, The Body Keeps the Score, for example, like that. Okay. And there's been a lot of talk around trauma in the past. And David says, yes, it's time for joy. Thank you. Yay. Guess what, you guys? I have my mug that says joy on it. Joy to the world, all you boys and girls and others now. Joy to the fishes and the deep blue sea. He says, yes. And actually, he looks kind of like this. Oh my gosh, you know what he looks like, you guys, right now? He literally just costume changed in his using the body. He says, if you're going to see my body, if you're going to see a body on me, he says, it's like a costume. It's like a wardrobe. He says, I'm going to take advantage of that and share with vibrancy and color because that's sensory. He says, that's sensory. A sensory visual channel. Okay, he looks like an avatar. Like the movie Avatar. Did you guys see that? It's like, I guess it's like 3 freaking hours long. I haven't seen it. I'd like to see it. I really love Pandora, the land in Disney World in Animal Kingdom. I was just talking about Animal Kingdom this weekend. Oh, okay, stop. Okay, stop. These are for the people, not for me. Just so he looks like an avatar, or kind of somebody maybe from a Cirque du Soleil, kind of underwater version, merman type. He's so androgynous. I love that about Bowie. I love that. Yeah, we have that in common. I love that. Yes, it's beautiful. And yeah, he says express. He says expressive. He says that one of the most missed opportunities in humankind, he says, is the ability to express. He says, why wouldn't you play with color and texture and style and sound and movement and frequency? And he says, the most simplest way is through clothing, is through what you wear and how you dress. And then he says, theater gives people so much opportunity to experience it. He says, but if you're just sitting in the audience, you're just receiving it. You're not participating. Or are you? You're thinking about it, so your mind is active, and perhaps your brain is dreaming of or imagining parts and facets of that play or drama or performance or concert where you visualize yourself in that same synergy of the energetics of doing that. Not so that others, he says, that's not what you think. Because my brain is going, oh, is it to be seen? Is it to be visible? He says, it's not what you think. It's not to be seen. It's not that. It's to belong. He says that is the common core need. He's not really saying need or desire. I'm saying need, desire, and putting them together because that's what the energy feels like, this twisted energy of need, desire, want, must have, requirement all together. And he says, it's to belong, to be long. And he says it's kind of like be craving instead of the word belonging. If you'd use the word like, if you'd make a new word, he says, make a new word, like be yearning. Oh, I like that. Oh, we could have new words of the year. We could create our own words. Be yearning for, or be craving for, be craving. He's very snake-like. What's with that? Oh, it's like water serpent. He just said, oh my gosh, I have to send this to my friend, Rebecca. Water serpent-like. Not the Loch Ness Monster vibe, but something way more moving through the water. So water element and snake-like. Snake is Kundalini energy or Shakti Shiva energy. And my tantric friends who are watching are going to be like, what? It's awesome. Yes, I know. And my mythical friends who love dragons, serpent is kind of connected to that energetic. Just here we are, water element. So now we also have the water element at play, which also connects to emotions and the ability to flow and move through things and with things. It's not just a transit. It's not just a transportation energetic of water. It is a beautiful flow, collaboration, mix and mingling and spiraling and turning and moving and wrapping with. Yeah, melting into. Oh, it's not even melting into. It's like braiding together, like coming together, spiraling in, spiraling out. Oh, do you feel that? The sacred geometry shape. Do you feel that? It looks like a, oh my gosh, there's two symbols. Pick which one. Pick your poison. One is a yin yang symbol, but it's up and down. It's not side to side, it's up and down. And then the other visualization I get is the lemniscate or the infinity sign, but it's up and down, so it looks like an 8. And it's this movement of the acknowledgement of two parts coming together. And then they meet at the centering point. And he says that yearning or belonging is the center. It's that point of meeting, that meeting point. He says, you would say, he says, in your intellectual capacity as a life coach, you would say it is a connection. And he says, but it's the point. So it's everyone wants to belong. And he says it feels like this ambiguous thing. And yet it's this energetic, and let me just turn off my alarm here. It feels like it's this ambiguous thing. And he says, but no, there's a point. The belonging is this desire to, he says, it's kind of like pulling people in, but it's not pulling them in you're not dragging people in. You're not forcing people to participate. You are inviting them, enticing them, kind of like a restaurant that like opens its doors and it smells so good, or the bread smells so good, it's cooking and it's so good. And you're like, oh, or this great pizza place. And you're like, oh, that smells so good. Like that, like invitation. It's very sensual. It's very like, come here, come in. Mm-hmm. It's like that. Oof. Yeah, that's hot. David, that's hot. So hot. Okay. Would that be the fire element, my friends? Oh my gosh, are we like going to balance our elemental energies? Look at how much bonus material you get here. It's just fabulous. So we've had the air element, we've had the water element, and now we have the fire, my friends. And I guess maybe the fire would be right here, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That overlapping center place. And also here, I actually do have a beautiful green, hello green energy of the heart chakra right here. Be yearning, or be craving. Okay, so David, but there's a very delicate, I see the fire out. I see people putting fire in the chat. Oh, I love you guys. Yeah, you guys are so hot in the chat, so hot. A bunch of hotties in the chat. Oh my gosh, if I had a community, I should call them the hotties. Wouldn't that be fun? So the belonging, the be yearning, the be craving. Let's talk about that. The belonging, the be yearning, the be craving. Belonging is a socially acceptable term in the brain that you can talk to other people about. And people understand, people want to be included. We know about inclusion. We're not great at it, but we're learning about it. We're practicing. We're practicing it. We're not experts. That's why we're all humans bumping around together trying to figure this shit out. Belonging, be yearning, be yearning. I like kind of the be yearning. I like that. I might actually want to put that as one of my words. I'm going to have to put that down and think about that, the yearning part. And the big craving is like a hunger, right? But see the different levels of the vibration of just the words that we're using? Do you see that? So David, I feel like yearning, well, all of these words, longing, yearning, craving, they have this sense of not really being connected, not quite being close, but not being able to touch. It's like a long distance relationship like that, like close, but you can't touch. Or like seeing your family on the Zoom and you're like, I just want to hug those, you know, and squeeze those cheeks of that little baby. And you can't because they're far away. Like it's not the same, right? So the longing, the craving, the yearning assumes that, or it kind of feels like those words that we've used in our human context have been up, you're close, but not quite close enough. It's like you're good, but you're not quite good enough. And that enoughness is challenging for us as people. We have a hard time with the not enough, not quite there, or the gap. We're noticing the lack, the scarcity, the less than. This is an issue. So the belonging, the be yearning, the be craving, how can we feel into these different degrees and vibrations of connection? How can we do that? He says it's a communication. Bridgette, he says, he's using my other name. It's interesting. Can you just call me B? That would be helpful. You, he says, it's communication. Communication, communication, communication. How do you communicate? He says, the senses. You get so much information coming into you through your senses, through your visual channel, through your sense of smell. We've talked about this, you guys, through your body somatically. I mean, we've talked about this. But the communication and the understanding comes from the direct experiences with someone else. So the reflective energy, oh my God, that was brilliant. I'm going to have to rewind and listen to that one. So the direct experience with someone else is a reflection of you. That's why the Vesica Pisces, there's two sides, and the sacred third in the center, that's the goal. This is part of my new passion project. The goal is the center, the sacred third. This is the point. The point is where you meet, right? And he says, neither one of them give up their essence or who they are or the integrity of what the wholeness of what has created them. But when they overlap, they create an additional. And he says, that's the point. And it's just like the yin yang symbol. It's this flow of energy. He says it's not even a give and exchange. It's like a pulsing. It's a rhythm. He says it's a rhythm. It's like they come together and they're in tandem and unison. And he says the longing for, the craving and the yearning for is that to create the pulsing, the third. And that happens when the two come together and then they create this. They do this together in a rhythm at the same time, energetically. They become a third together. Oh my God, this is freaking brilliant, you guys. This is the kind of stuff that I should just like transcript and put into a book. This is great, right? Oh my gosh, this is freaking brilliant. And I have to watch my time because I do have to go to a acupuncture here. Let's see where we at. Oh, we got plenty of time. Good. Okay, I'm gonna put some lip stuff on because just talking about this whole thing, this longing and craving and yearning makes me want to put some chapstick on. Yes, it does. Okay. I'm being funny a little bit, you guys, right? If it's too hot for you, if it's too hot, get your ass out the kitchen because we on a mission. See, roller rink vibes, people. Roller rink vibes, feeling the pulsing. I love this conversation. So, because it seems to me like yearning, the word yearning and the word craving feels like I want that, but I can't have it. Is that how it feels to you guys? These would be great journaling prompts. Or if you're working with Word of the Year, if you need a referral or a resource for Word of the Year, check out my friend Rebecca Cavender, spelled like lavender with a C, Cavender, Rebecca Cavender writer on Instagram or Facebook. And she has tons of resources for Word of the Year, super affordable and amazing resources for Word of the Year. But the energy of these words you could take and work with in a journaling kind of scenario for yourself too. Like, what do these words mean to you? Longing, yearning, craving. Obviously, within me, somatically, my body feels everything. Actually, we were just talking about that this weekend, like somatically, like literally, I feel everything. And my friend was like, one of my friends was like, wow, you really feel like your whole body, you just feel everything in your body. What's that like? I'm like, well, it's challenging at times, let me just tell you. But that yearning means I want, a recognition of wanting. And if I want something, and we've all been taught, I think, throughout our childhoods, by society, we've had this reflection where the wanting, yearning, longing is bad because it means for some reason you can't have it. And it's obviously because of you can't have it. Or maybe it's bad and you shouldn't want that anyway. Why would you want that? Aren't you grateful? You are ungrateful or you are selfish. Anybody heard any of that stuff growing up? That ring a bell for anybody? Okay. So we've been taught that these things are bad, but the truth is, think about sitting at a beautiful restaurant. Thank you for this image. I can see it. David's showing me this image of a gorgeous restaurant with dark, getting a text from a friend. Sorry, I'm like super distracted. Oh, so rude. We're having dinner in a beautiful dark restaurant. And there's a little candle on the table, nice candlelight, like amber candle to honor the energy of your solar plexus, your spirit. And it's all chill in here. And we're sitting here and we're feeling this energy and we're hungry because we haven't eaten, because we've heard that the food here is amazing. And there's like special dishes that we really want to have. And we want to try and we can't wait. And we're so hungry. So the hunger is this anticipation for what's coming. What if it's not about a recognition of the absence or the lack, but it's a beautiful gift of the reminder of how we are co-creators, how we manifest, how life is filled with abundant opportunities to receive, the awareness of the feelings that exist within us. What if it's about the feeling? What if it's not even about the receiving? What if it's not about the having of, but the sheer pure joy in that state of longing, of yearning, of wanting so much? What do we say when we say wanting? I want that so badly. Oh, I want that so badly. Or I want that so much. I want that. And doesn't that feel good? Don't you just feel like alive and alert? Mm-hmm. And then once you receive it, once that chocolate cake comes to the table and you eat that chocolate cake or whatever your thing is you're craving, maybe you like fancy foods, maybe you're a foodie and you're really waiting for that fancy pasta dish to come set in front of you, whatever your thing is, okay? Because yours can be whatever yours can be whatever you want, okay? And it comes to you and you have it and you just savor it. Then is that the point? So David is the point of the savoring. It's the intersection of when what you long for arrives, that moment of arrival. Because then after it, like once you've processed and once you've ate the food and stuff and after, and you're like, oh, okay, that was great. And then you just have the memory of it because it's done, right? Yeah, so the longing and the yearning and the craving helps us to feel alive. He said, exactly. He said, B, it's about desire. It's about desire. And he says, oftentimes people will talk about dreams. What are you dreaming into your life this year for 2023? What are you going to dream into your life? And he says, people are so afraid to even entertain the idea that they have some wants or they have some bigger dreams that might take a couple years, maybe 10 years to achieve. And so because it seems like it's so far away, why even bother? Might not work out, might change your mind. He's like, it's not the point to receive it. It's the point to savor the process of the journey of recognizing all of the senses within you that come awake and alert to be able to then externally receive. whatever it is that you are most desiring. And he says it's really just about experiences. It's not about owning something or having that or, devouring that, making it your own. It's not about ownership. He says, oh, this is super important. You guys understand this. You guys need to understand this. It's not about ownership. I have that. That's mine. If anybody's ever been in a relationship, you know that that's not possible anyway, right? The whole, well, this is mine, she's mine, or she's mine forever, or whatever. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that. That's not how things work. They don't work like that. It's not about ownership. It's not about that. It's about what I would say, that connection, or those points where the craving and the longing and the desire come together to be able to create that sacred third. Yeah. And that beat, right? And then it supports both the sides, both the halves. And who you've been and who you are becoming are supported by the center point. And the center is the present, right? Yes, it is. Okay. This has been so hot. This is like the best channeling I have done in a long time. I feel a lot of joy right now. I feel a lot of joy. I love this. This has been amazing. Yeah. So I'm thinking, David, that this new year might feel pretty good. It seems like it's different already, doesn't it? Yeah, I feel a little sluggish, if I'm honest, stepping into the new year, because I feel like my body is not caught up. I feel like I did a lot of major clearing, me personally, at the end of the year, the last 10 days of the year. I really whoa, solstice and moon energies and all sorts of frequency stuff going on, the new moon. And then now for this week is full moon, you guys. And we just had New Year, and we had the holidays, Christmas holidays and Hanukkahs and Kwanzas and all this stuff, right, has been happening for everybody. So there's all these things, right? And now we're into a new year, and it's like, what? I feel a little sluggish, but I think it's just because our bodies, somatically, we are processing. Like David said, we are all so sensory. Whether you know it, acknowledge it, or work with it or not, you are. You just are. You're not just analytical. You're not. You cannot survive anymore just being analytical. You have to be intelligent with your energy. You have to be energetically intelligent. That is the new I'm trying to think of an analogy. I can't. I'm like, that's the new thing. Okay. That's the new hot thing is you have to be energetically intelligent. You can learn everything and you can read all the books, you can take all the classes, but if you are not feeling in your body, somatically, physically aware of your body, and that's not just emotions. When the body and the heart is connected and working together, the emotion is information and energy. Yes, it's energy. Yes, it's information. You are not the emotion. Don't become it. It's not your identity. Your brain might say that it is because it gives you the context intellectually to understand psychologically how all of these experiences you've had up to this point contribute to who you are and why you feel the way you do. However, sacred third, the past, the future, and the present, right? The present is the point. That's the point. That's what you long for. That's what you crave, is the arrival. The arrival. So this year, the more intellectual or the more energetically intelligent you can become, which is just basically being aware in a way that then you can apply what you know. Your brain, what you physically know, your brain helps give you the mathematical equations like numerology and helps you understand astrology and alignment of things and numbers and charts and patterns and rhythms, physical patterns and rhythms. Like I showed you, sacred geometry, your brain helps with that, gives you a context in visual terms. It's very helpful, but that's its contribution. It's not the be all end all only thing. Then it's the body somatically understanding how much information your body gives you. Your body is so psychic. That's why people have illnesses, chronic pain. I'm actually physically dealing with this myself in my little family. I have somebody that has chronic pain now from emotional, like a PTSD kind of vibe from the COVID stuff with anxiety and depression and all that. Like that's a thing. Okay. So the body is massively powerful and so wise. And it's not intended to derail you or stop you. That's not what it's doing. It's trying to give you so much information and support. So receive it, learn about it, understand what it's trying to say, learn how to communicate with your body, right? And then your soul, your spirit, that's energy. That's the pinnacle. That's the energetic intelligence. That's what it is. Like, so these 4 things, you're in relationship with your mind, heart, body, and soul. And it's like David said, it's about communication. Like I say connection, but he says it's communication. How are you communicating with all these resources? Your mind, your heart, your body, and your soul. You need all 4 of these things. Which ones are you on? Are you only analytical? Are you analysis paralysis and just reading about this shit? Or are you only emotional and just like reacting, responding, empathically, just focused on service to other people? And that's how you're getting your values through your heart and your emotions and how other people make you feel, not how you feel, but how they make you feel better. Oh, that person fixes me. That's so great. Or are you doing the spiritual bypass thing where you're just like oming and all about the higher ground of your intuition and psychicness, and really you're not applying what you're learning? You're sitting back in your psychicness and judging in a way and using that as a layer of protection. See, I know this because I've been in those places. I am not a master. Nobody is really, or we would not be here. Okay. The masters are the ones we're channeling and talking to, and the ones with the perspective, like David Bowie. Do you see? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So body, mind, heart, and soul. It's the 4, the core 4, baby. They're working together. Okay. All right, my loves. That's maybe one of my words of the year. I'm not sure. I have 2 of them I'm kind of playing with right now, but now I'm really liking this like yearning word. I'm not sure. I don't like crave because crave seems like I got to eat. It seems like something's going to happen really fast. I want it to be like, I want to savor the energetics. I want to savor the creation and savor the process. Like that's the point. Our whole life is the process. Why? When it's done, it's done. It's over then. I don't want it to be over. I want to savor the process, right? So it's about communication. So that's what we've learned from David Bowie today, among other things. So I hope you get out your journals and go back and watch this and connect in with these 3 words, the belonging, the yearning, the craving, and see kind of where it sets for you. Also take note of which one of the 3, there were only 3 elements that showed up today directly: the air element, the water element, and the fire element. Okay, so you can play with those. You can always invite in earth energy, and also technically, I guess, light. So to me, there's 5 elements. Light is the 5th one, and that's like the star energy. That's how we started, because that's what David has. He's got that vibe. So, and he was really great today. He was very, you were very relatable. I mean, well, the whole mermaid thing and the Cirque du Soleil mermaid avatar thing, that was a little bit different, but that's okay. That's creative. I'm okay with that. So, all right. Thank you so much for being here on this first Monday of the new year. Yeah, let's make this a good one, okay? You're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. I've already had them multiple times in the last 48 hours. It's just the thing, you guys. It's a pulsing. We're trying to get to the point, right? That's the goal, is the point, right? That third, to be able to come together and create, allow that sacred third to emerge. We don't have to make the sacred third. It just emerges. It magically just unfolds and opens up, because, oh God, it's just awesome. Okay. All right. I hope we've inspired your spirit today, filled you with hope, and encouraged you to live your life. This is your life after all, and you get to live it. Just live it, my friends. Happy New Year. I look forward to working with you in the new year. I will put links in these videos so you can have sessions with me. And keep an eye out on Bridgette Inspired on Instagram and on Above Life Channel Facebook or Bridgette Inspired Facebook. I will share links to my new psychic services. I am doing readings, and I'm doing pre-recorded video readings, and I'm doing sessions. as well.